Hello, hello, hello. I'm realizing that went way too far down. My bad. Honestly, I should have... Let me just... Sorry for the sudden noise increase. Okay, what's going on? Yep. Okay, first off, I had different plans for the stream, which changed. I essentially had plans, and I had backup plans, and then stuff happened, so I've kind of pivoted to these plans, and everything is kind of a rush job. I just finished putting together a mod pack for today's stream, because I guess the first thing to kind of mention is that
press enter to enable the narrator.
Shush, narrator. We don't like you. At least I don't like you. I'm sure there are some people who are out there and go, but I need the narrator, so it's good that they exist. I just personally am like, that's not for me. But yeah, again, the narrator speaking gives some idea of... Yeah, no, wardrobe, please. That fits this one. Thank you. But... Oh, a person in chat, I am honestly just going to answer you now. This is Underwhelming Battle from Epithet Erased. I'll say it again. Underwhelming Battle. Okay, I'm sorry, Minecraft. Your noises are going on top of the other noises. So music is going way down. Natural land, friendly creatures, environment, and I think the rest can stay where it is, or something like that. I'm just thinking. Okay. Originally, the plan was, because of the Wishcraft season finale, the server went down for maintenance and some mod fixing, among other things. We didn't have a clue of when it was going to be back. I was saying, oh, because of when they said, hey, we're trying to work on getting it back, it won't be up today, but it should be up relatively soon. I was like, well, based on that, there's a chance that it could be back up on my birthday. So I'm going to try and get it ready for then. Unfortunately, that did not end up happening. And so, because of that, I then was going to do different game stuff. But then I had a very interesting birthday present that I woke up to. However, I'm not going into that right now. I am going to briefly discuss. I've got something... Oh, 1 hour ago. I am going to read off a thing that I wrote up earlier, because I realized that said event... Oh gosh, I'm geeking my mic. Said event does have some large emotions attached to it, so to try and not just riff off of whatever's on the top of my mind, I'm trying to have a written out thing and read off of that. Potentially, I will add some elaboration, but I'm going to do my best to remain to that message, so I can think of 1 or 2 things not in that message, because I used it for something else, but 1 or 2 other things that were mentioned within said I'm sorry, I'm a little jumbled. Because, again, other stuff was a rush job. You could tell that I just put together this mod pack. Which, by the way, I want to make an export of this. Zero doesn't really matter. Yeah, config's the only thing I'm kind of... please send that to my downloads. Yeah, there. Okay, where was I? Yeah. Here's the plan. I had a lore... Here, no. My plan for this stream is to act as a finale. What in the gosh dang? Oh. Subscriber! Oh, probably because I did put the chat in subscriber-only mode. Yeah, you'll be able to chat in 5 minutes. It just wants to make sure the stuff... Or maybe I don't know anymore. Birfday! Himalayan! Thank you for the birthday wishes. Okay, sorry. Getting off track. Summary of today. Lore animatic that I had prepped that I still want to use. Read off of message. Which also sort of... Okay. I only just got the notification that you subscribed, so wasn't sure. Read off of the message. And then we're just going to go into lore dump and Minecraft server. And by the way, I will have some guests. So it won't just be me. But first, I need to cut the music. I'll mute myself, and then we'll go to lore animatic, followed by my reading. Except also... Ah! I'm so professional, guys. You don't even know. Okay, as far as it's aware... Never mind. Okay. Minecraft. Spia. Yeah, that'll be good for that. Okay. I am going to mute, and we will see... Okay. Minecraft. Sorry. Background noise. Try this again. I am going to mute. We will see lore automatic. Let's go.
You see me take a step back, you look like a child. Are you okay? Are you hurt?
All the aim is a flat dome, like I hit the yoinky sploinky.
Good night, sheep. Good night, shark. Good night, butterfly.
I'd say you have a bit of a talent for it.
You're doing good work.
Someone was pretending to be silenced to then cause chaos.
Are you telling me the seal is gone because the wizard is dead? Dead.
Yeah, I figured that might happen. Alright, so. Reading off message time. It's fine that Minecraft crashed. Yeah, I kind of told people they could join once I switched off of starting soon, but I do want to do the talk first. So, as a preface, something occurred, meaning that I have left the Wishcraft server as of today. I am just going to read off the message I sent upon my departure. This is connected to the recent announcement, but I believe this is important enough for me to send this in the general channel, since it is likely going to affect people who may not be keeping an eye on the heavy chat and temp chat, which were chats within the Discord in which Wishcraft members were a part of for discussion, whatnot. Due to the recent bans occurring, including something that means I can no longer play Penny 2, since, you know, no more Penny, While I was given the offer of making a new character, I will unfortunately need to pass on the offer. I did a lot of work for Penny too, stuff like art for her, animations for every lore stream, potential merch, builds I crafted for other Wishcraft users, PNG tuber models, a VTuber model, and a VTuber model. That is unfortunately all scrapped, and that leaves me feeling burnt out due to the lack of return, to the point I can't really fathom trying to go through the process of making another character. Despite that, I don't personally have enough confidence in staff to remain here as well. I'm sure anyone in the temp chat that has some idea of my concerns, but as that chat will be deleted and not everyone could see it, I'll summarize here. I felt that the explanation on the events that led to the ban seemed to change in multiple ways. First, the amount of people affected, going from a large group in the 2 Wishcraft servers to only about 1 or 2 people. Second, in the way that the mods seemed to not know whether someone involved was a minor or not during certain incidents. I also ended up contacted by one of the 1 or 2 people that I previously mentioned, asking me to voice that they had never been questioned by HR or the mod team about the incidents leading to the ban, which makes it seem like there was an improper or potentially even no investigation into reports made by HR. Well, it was suggested to fill out a file of concern about such grievances. The fact that the grievances are about HR and would only be sent to HR does not fill me with confidence that it would be properly reviewed. Connected to my frustration of artistic burnout, I would like to speak that I will and do not approve of any further use of my Penny 2, aka the Nameless Child, on Wishcraft. The only exception being for 1 or 2 members remaining on Wishcraft to make a comment within their Season 2 opening stream, with the explanation that the brambles led to her demise. Or supposed demise, we'll get to that. Whether you decide 1 or 2 people, please discuss with yourselves on who that will be. Lastly, I would not be surprised if I am not the only one to leave over how the investigation was handled, not so much the ban itself. Following, I am also going to mention as one of the staff members sent me a friend request. I was away when the request was first sent, then noticed the notification, decided I wanted to prepare a message again, worried about getting heated, and by the time I had a message prepared, ready to send, and for the person to send, they had rescinded the friend request. So in case they happen to come here and watch, I'm going to say, what was it? Dick Burger. As I send my public message, my trust with the staff is far too low for a full discussion, especially as my attempts to ask for elaboration were never answered properly. As I stated in my public message, past 1 or 2 Wishcraft creators having their character mention my Penny's demise to the brambles. If this, I do not want her used. If this is about trying to check with me about who I might approve for this, my one suggestion is Zuki/Izzy, due to connections with my character. I do not approve of any usage of my character past this mention. I have left both Wishcraft servers and privated my Wishcraft streams, which yes, I have done. I am considering potentially making edited versions of those streams, which will also be unlisted, but accessible to people if they know where to look, continue watching my stuff, etc., etc. Sorry, that part wasn't in. I'm just offhandedly mentioning now. I was also not happy with a good amount of modding being done by the partner of the sibling of a mod who's not staff themselves. Well, the sibling and the person who is the partner and was doing the modding. That itself could be seen as an echo chamber, which they complained about at one point. And I'm concerned upon seeing behaviors that currently mimic a different server I was a part of that had the mods attempting to dox a minor, and they were then not removed as a mod because they were dating the owner. So, yeah, you can somewhat see why I have some concerns and why I ended up leaving. There is more to it. I have evidence of sorts, which I'm not going to like fully share within that, in part because it's like trying to get on screen, but likely I will try to provide a screenshot or two if due to discussion potentially in chat, or again I'm going to have people chatting with me in voice chat if potentially we get into a discussion and it's one that's like, here's the specific comment that we also kind of got a screenshot. I'll try to send it from phone, because that's where I did most of my screenshots, to a computer to then censor it of names, because I'm worried about people getting harassed if direct names are mentioned. But then showing that, yes, we are reading off these actual messages that were sent. And with that, I completely forgot that my Minecraft crashed. Guys, so professional. Hepborth. With that, I'm going to tell the people who potentially wanted to join that now they are free to start joining the voice chat.
I think I'm happy now. Am I happy now? I can't tell. Oh my gosh, I'm happy now.
And then someone else said, oh my gosh, I saw a heart. Someone specifically said that they wanted a DM when it was all ready. Hello?
Hello.
Hi! It is you!
Give a bit for chat to give a bit of background as to who I am and what role I played.
Yeah.
My name is April. I played the character Ellen on Witchcraft. And that's about it, really.
Wow! Oh, I turned the foogies off. There. Now, or at least, okay, let me also say, I've got foogies enabled for my stream. Is it alright if your foogie appears under me?
Yes. It is,
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. I just realized suddenly that it's like, wait, what if you're not fine with it?
That is fine by me.
Alright. Minecraft, are you about to crash again because I'm trying to put you on my stream? Maybe? No? Yes? No? Maybe? I don't think so! But now I actually have to create a world! I am so professional. Can you even believe this?
Awesome. You're doing great. You're doing
I would like commands on. It's my birthday. I get commands if I want.
Yeah, you can be a benevolent god.
Game rules. Keep inventory on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Fire damage off, because why not? Mob briefing off.
If there is
Insomnia off.
on the Minecraft, could I get sent that, please?
Yes, I download. Here, let me put it in. Please. Discord, don't say it's too big. Die. Hey, it didn't say so.
There it goes.
Drops, tell drops, no explosions.
I need to also add you on Essential so I can join the
Yes,
world, which
I was
will-
just about to say that. It's like, and I don't believe we ever became friends on Essential, so
You have not, that's fine.
I am going to have Weather Cycle on because one of the things that I added to the server was some winter mods because again, it is around Christmas time.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that's all I want for this new world. Time to create it and hope it don't crash.
Okay. And I will just...
And by the way, I'm very... Oh, right. I did add Origins. I don't...
Fine by
The
me,
sad...
I'm gonna have fun with it.
Yeah, that being said, because I chose a newer version of Minecraft, it's only the base Origins. Because
That's fine.
it doesn't... So honestly... Here. Vivian. Me looking at Arachnid and having... feelings. There
Oh, let's...
Boost
Yeah.
the volume of the other
Yeah.
person in the VC. Yes, I can. You are now at 153%.
Am I louder? Hello? What's strength at?
Worthing, Blazeborn, Phantom. Honestly, I love Phantom, but right now, I'm just going to be human, at least for startup stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. I will...
Okay.
What is your
Locate
name on Essentials? Is it just the same as your YouTube?
Cosmuffins.
Okay, easy guys.
There are very few places where I am not Cosmuffins. And even then, the different variations are Vote Derpy Cosmuffins or VD Cosmuffins. Okay, locate biome. Snowy Taiga. Snowy Taiga sounds amazing right now. Ooh, one nearby. Oh, there I go, falling into the void. Right!
There you go.
Hi. I'm in... Wait. Oh, I forgot to put Jaden J.I. on. Frick me. Oh well.
It's okay. Right, when it comes to, Witchcraft, where do we start? Do we just go over plans we have?
Well, I do want to say that I'm very happy that you're one of the people who's come to this lore dump stream because part of the lore that's getting dumped specifically connects to your character.
Yep. I'm here for more than that though, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Ominous warning.
So let me just sort of, I guess, go over, like, the start of stuff with my penny, just sort of, because right now all of my previous streams are privated, so people who are unfamiliar can't be like, oh, let me go back and try to speed through them and get up to date. Right now they can't. So, time to try and summarize things. Wishcraft was a server with the a story-driven roleplay server with the idea of a bunch of characters. Ooh, yes, I would love to be your friend.
Easy as. No,
Let me...
you can invite me to the world.
I'm trying to remember how to do that. How to open the world. And also... let world spawn right here. Options, controls, keybinds. Essential, what is it? Essential. Chat, invite friends? That's gonna be minus now. Proceed. World cheats on. Share resource pack? No. Next. Pop up wheels. You're invited. And
Should I wear the Elowen skin just for shits and gigs?
oh yeah, go ahead. I'm wearing the penny skin.
May as well.
Hopefully, I set spawn correctly.
Hopefully you did. Who knows?
Okay. Summary, because I got distracted by the friend request stuff. You!
I see you. Let me just shift my keybind so they're easier. with
Oh,
my
go
right
ahead.
hand motion.
We have time. Witchcraft was a server, a roleplay-based, story-driven server, where all of the characters were based upon various storybook tales and myths and legends and whatnot. So, like, there was Sleeping Beauty, there was Odysseus, there was...
Pinocchio.
I believe you
I
were...
was
Yeah,
lying.
you were Pinocchio. Then there was also, Little Red Riding Hood, Little Mermaid, Santa. And specifically, before I joined the server, there was someone who made their character based around the myths of changelings and them replacing, being fairies that replaced children in, yeah. I think that I'm half distracted trying to do the buildy stuff as well, so don't ask me to elaborate. I'm not the one. I am unfortunately not the one who is Fey autistic. But anyway, I eventually applied with the character of being the human that got replaced by the changeling. And as I sort of mentioned, go away, you spy chicken. That isn't lore accurate.
Context with the changeling and then my connection with that as well.
Yeah.
Canonically, Elowen, my character, was the changeling's like sort of big sister figure.
Yeah. So, my sort of entire lore revolved around the original Penny, and they were banned from Witchcraft after a did not seem like well done investigation, which I believe you can attest to.
Yeah, I can attest to that. The investigation was done like shit, and we're not going to get into exactly what was said specifically, but the investigation as a whole was done like shit, and they aren't guilty of any of it.
Yeah. Well, saying they aren't guilty of anything just outright is a bit of a loaded way to say it. But would you like to confirm or deny if you were someone who should have been investigated, and if you were or not?
Considering the context of the investigation and what it was, I should have been spoken to. I was not.
Exactly. That was one of my main complaints about investigation not feeling handled properly. They were the one of two people! I hope that's okay that I said that.
Two people that could have been implicated, but I was one of them. I was just not spoken to at all.
Yeah. But yeah. So, with both my story being, or I guess my Penny's story unable to be told, and whatnot, decide, okay, fine, lore dump stream. And so this is what this is now. So, and actually it's kind of good that the animation is what I ended up going with, because originally this was essentially going to be a season 2 premiere, so I thought, hey, why not recap the initial season? And, well, now it helps for anyone who was not aware of of witchcraft, and now they had a slight peek. Specifically, my Penny 2, for this instance, unless I mention the other Penny, I'm just going to call her Penny for simplicity's sake. You good with that? Okay.
I just like to make sure that your voices are heard.
Voices, yes, you have 2 voices now.
I have multiple. I can talk like this. Sorry.
But yeah. A wizard made... Oh. You're online now. I can invite you. A new person is going to hopefully be joining soon. Yay!
Whoa. Oh, Jack. Oh, Jack. Oh, the god's here. Our god is here.
Yep. A wizard summoned people to a world because he wanted friends. It kind of randomly chose people as far as anyone was aware, I believe. One of the people summoned was the original Penny, and then, of course, my Penny. My Penny was like, where am I? This is not where I was moments ago. And then interacted with someone who looked like a giant spider. So they were like, no, don't worry, I'm not dangerous. And slowly, or maybe, I'm not sure how to best describe, but it started to essentially start acting as a mother figure to Penny. To the point of giving her a house. That led to discussions with other characters that made her believe the house was not actually gifted to her and could be taken at any time. And in part due to that, she had an escape plan planned out, which is part of what we're doing in the server today. Part of the escape plan was she was going to then have to make her own base elsewhere that wasn't the house, and I had the plans all drawn up on a piece of graph paper. Tell me if you can hear it. Tell me if you can hear the graph paper wiggling.
I can. On Discord,
Yes.
I can.
Yes! If you can hear it on Discord, then people can definitely hear it in stream. And sorry if it was too loud to people in stream.
Way!
I make noises. Words specifically. The plan was always for eventually the 2 pennies to eventually confront each other, because as far as my Penny was concerned, she had her life stolen away by the changeling that replaced her. and learning that said culprit, as far as she's aware, was present, did not make her happy. Like, grass block and inventory. Whoa! I want white wool. I want light gray wool. I want gray wool. I want black wool. I do want also brown. Nope. Brown wool. And spruce fence. Yay! This is enough room, right? Right. I was having hints slowly leading to the confrontation of a couple of times when interactions would take place between the pennies unknowingly of sorts, where they were at a masquerade ball, their faces are covered. So my penny won't go, "Hey, why do you have my face?" And later, "Oh, it is getting chilly out, so I'm wearing a cloak and wrapping it so tightly around me." While the other penny was like, "I am stressed and so sick that I look so sickly that everything's a mess." And even then it was sort of, wow, May's stuff. Not often seeing each other, whatever. But said May's stream ended in the server and, well, inhabitants learning that the wizard, the one who summoned them all in the first place, had died. Was killed by brambles, which I believe is going to be the explanation given to at least my penny's disappearance, because I said, hey, that's what you can do.
I guarantee you that's what we're gonna do it on as well.
Yeah. I mean, before, when there was discussion about, it's like, hey, the brambles do make a good explanation for if anyone leaves the server with the season change. And then all this stuff went down, which I still can't believe it's been less than 24 hours since it all went down.
I know.
Part of it was that it happened at like 1 a.m. my time, and then I went to bed. But at the same time,
I remember exactly where I was when it all went down as well.
I was sitting in bed because I had been planning to go to bed, and then stuff went
I was
down.
also sitting in bed. I was sitting in a circle with a friend group, and then the news had been hit, and then we all sat there kind of shocked for a second.
Okay. So, oh no, I also want to get rid of this little patch of snow, otherwise it will annoy me to no end. Yay! Let's start up here. Anyway, on to why I was, which, I'm sorry, I'm starting to look at my graph paper and trying to remember. Yeah, dark gray. Oh, better. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. I got super distracted there. I'm in the house like carpet. I'm deflecting. Oh, yes. The plans. The initial plans, and originally my thumbnail was going to... No! They died! Or I killed
I
them.
have to close the game for
Okay.
the sake of my laptop. I can still be here in chat.
Okay, that's fair.
Chat with you about this.
Yeah, I just worried because at one point when you were saying something before, it kind of made it so...
He's snowing!
It kind of made it so you cut out a little, and so I was worried that you lost internet or whatever when you disconnected, but yeah. Yes. Right, so originally, and I had an old thumbnail. Yes, by the way, person in chat, it was a lovely birthday present, sarcasm.
I honestly, I felt for you a lot watching it all go down. Like, oh, this is happening on Muffet's fucking birthday.
And on my birthday! But yeah. Originally, and my old thumbnail reflected it, what was going to happen was, because of the news, my penny was going to... Did I do that right? I did not do that right. My penny was going to go find Izzy and tell her that, hey, we can't... I know you didn't end up making it to the maze, but we ended up learning that the wizard died, and the stuff with the brambles, and it's so distressing, and want comfort in this time. In these trying times.
Alboga.
Yeah.
Getting killed by brambles.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now I'm dying by brambles, so...
Exactly.
I'm a bozo.
I'm joking, Muffins.
Birfday. I know you're not on the server, but I'm not sure if Jack is even listening. But behold, day. 1, 2, 3, 4. From there, let's see. Can I even... Don't recall. Sorry, someone DM'd me to say happy birthday, and because I'm streaming, stuff is truncated, so I can't immediately tell who it is that messaged me. I don't believe it's the one person I've been seeing in chat, because their name starts with a different letter. Oh, speaking of chat, don't know when you'll see this, but I love both your anime characters. Yours is very cute, Muffins, and the person in voice chat has great goblin energy.
Thank you. I'm just a little disabled person. It's fine.
Yeah. Which, speaking of, I did create this. Well, of course I created this character. I was talking about it. But I did the artwork and animated it all. And I can be angry, and I can be happy. And then you can be angry, and then you can be happy. Oh wait, which one's the side? That one's the side. That one's great. Okay. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Sorry. Looking, cross-referencing stuff. Yay. Okay. So. Yeah, that'll be enough room. What was going to... Oh, right. I looked at my DMs because I was trying to then go to where I was trying to discuss stuff before stuff went down.
Yep.
Which... No, I'm not going into it. At least, not right now, I'm just going with Laura. Was planning to have my Penny go to see Izzy, tell her the news. That would lead into worry about the brambles, because the house she was staying in was very close to the danger area. That's a 3, right? That's a 3. Did I officially label that as? Yes, I did. Be it worry about the brambles, which would likely lead into her moving in with Izzy because she was further away. Likely that would lead to her having a touch more anxiety about potentially having her home taken out from under her, in a sense. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's acquired hardware. 5. Those are 6s. It's 4. Let me look at messages to get less off track. Because winter was going to be coming to the server, which was mentioned, part of that was because due to the holiday season, which is also part of why I added on winterly. And where's Snowy? Where'd you put Snowy? Snowy Spirit. They're hiding Snowy Spirit from me. April.
Well, what am I gonna do about it? I can't do anything.
Don't know. Oh, hey, Sled. If I remember what's in the mod, I can look it up.
Yay. But yeah, then character is Spider, so that would have led to trying to hibernate because of cold and snow. Which probably would have caused concerns with the child who's like, wait, are you dead? Did you die? Oh no, are you Is that a 5? Yes. No. What have I done over there? I'm gonna just ignore that for now. Try and work over here. Brown.
Sorry, I'm kind of quiet.
No, you're perfectly fine. I'm getting distracted enough because I also wanted to do build as I dealt with things. From there, I was I was so close to saying something that I don't want to say because that is something that is 2, 1, go.
Implicate.
No, not implicate. It's something that their character, something more unique to their character that they still might do. Thus, I don't want to then be like, haha, I revealed it on stream. No, that's a jerk move. So something with their character, which I'm not explaining. But then I was discussing. Right, that's something I didn't mention. Because there's a whole thing with fairies and the power in names. My Penny, because she was taken from her home, did interact enough with fairies to be distinctly aware of the whole names have power thing. And in her mind, she does not know her name is Penny. She was taken before she could have ever learned such a detail. And it is something her main goal was to try and find the life that was taken from her to then take it back. Okay, I panicked for a second, worried that stuff with my... I was not paying enough attention to the time, Jack. My bad as well. Sun is starting to set.
What's Jack said?
Oh, yeah, Jack was saying stuff in chat where it was like, time me! 3, 2, 1, go! Fuck, okay, reset the timer, please. 3, my bad. Oh, which one is this? Which one is this? It's you. But my character, not knowing her real name, wanting to get a hold of that real name, and worried about tying herself to a name that was not her own, she... Oh, yeah. Congrats, Jack. You're so cool and powerful.
Congratulations, Jack. Let's inflate your ego a little bit more.
5, 6, I think I've done my math correctly. We'll see. Theoretically, yes. She was determined to discover her real name. My bad, that's supposed to be Black Wolf. And would constantly change her name as to not be tied down to something that was not actually her name and she wasn't aware. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. 2, 3, 4. Not good. What did I miss? What did I miss?
I don't know.
Did I make this whole thing too big?
Probably.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm 1 block off somewhere. That explains it. 4. Aha! You're the culprit!
I found the issue.
Yeah, I know.
Now I have to rebuild all of this again. Yay!
By the way, I love that her next base was just going to be a tent made of a bunch of wool, and also the shop I ended up creating was a wool selling shop.
That's funny.
Man, it's almost like I happened to know I was going to need a bunch of wool and then went, well, I guess I can farm it. Oh, now I have a lot because I can't do it in halves, unfortunately. Now I have a bunch of wool, I guess. I messed that part up as well. There we go. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, she kept using fake names, used a fake name for even the character that was sort of adoptive mom to her. And there was a chance that she would end up revealing the fact that she does not know her real name and does not want to be tied down to a name. Because now, while it might be something where it's like, okay, now it's kind of easier for me to get kicked out because this is now not my actual home in any way, shape, or form. But I'll still try to trust? Question mark? And damn, she sure did try. Kind of. I don't know how to best describe. Did I do that right? I don't think I did that right. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I did it right! Yay! I'm just going to pause building for a couple seconds while I just talk. So yes, that was potentially going to go into the name issue, which would kind of be revealed that would go. That is the most I had planned out officially. Because also some of it was, okay, here's the loose plans, now let's roleplay it out. The next parts of lore actually involve a character belonging to a certain someone else who is in this call. Would that certain someone like to briefly explain their character's backstory stuff?
Okay. Long story short, first of all, my name is April, or Wales. You can call me whatever you want, just don't call me a slur. Anyway.
The only one who can do that is Jack, in private. And only because you've given permission.
I play on the server named Elowen, who is based off of Pinocchio. The entire idea and plan with my character going into season 2, for reasons that I will get into slightly later, is I was trapped in a tree for the last 4 months of the first season. Out of that tree, I would have eventually interacted with someone who you all might know quite well.
Oh my gosh, it's me! Penny! Penny too! The penny that belongs to the muffin!
Yeah. Within all of that, I think that interaction would have led to Elowen going, wait a minute, you look like someone I recognize.
And that, in turn, would make my character go, I'm sorry, at least internally go, wait, so the thoughts I've had before where sometimes I'm getting headaches when hearing a specific voice and sometimes something feels oddly familiar. There's actually something more to that? And, oh god, the person who replaced me is here. Which, specifically, your character would have gone, hey, you're definitely Penny, right? And then it's like, oh, okay. I'm angry at... Say that again? Did you die? Because it might be in a message where it's like, oh, sorry, I'm stepping away. Ah, yep. Deafened and muted. Might be something.
I
that...
accidentally deafened again. Why did that happen? What happened?
You started to say something, and then I asked you, wait, what did you say? Because I sort of talked over you, and then there was just silence.
Yeah, well, hang on. Yeah, as I was saying, the entire idea surrounding the interaction was it would have been something that would have eventually paid off in the Penny versus Penny reveal at the grand pre-opening of my tavern that I had.
But yes, the specifics were going to be that my Penny would now know that her name is actually Penny. She would sort of clutch to that. There would eventually be a confrontation at the tavern, as just mentioned. The argument would have gotten extremely heated, and because, again, there was intertwining character lore, likely Izzy would have been there. It would have turned into an instance of my Penny trying to go, look, this is... this one claiming to be Penny is actually... Yes?
Yeah.
Give Jack Ron yeah. Mythic Metals Bronze Block 3. There! He can decompress that. Right. So. Oh, bones. I know he wants actual bones, but... There. I had to be a little silly. He went, I want bones because there is a dog! I'm seeing now in chat that someone was like, stop day-night cycle. Just in the moment, I wanted it to just still be day, but I do want the day-night cycle to continue since other people are playing in the world, and yeah. Obviously, in me suppressing nights, someone didn't get the bones they were after. I'm sorry, could bones be seen in a different context? My bad. I'm sorry, that's also an inside joke.
I'm not. Let's not get into that on stream, Muffins. We really need to watch what we say.
It's true. Okay, yes. So, blow up would have happened. My Penny getting upset, yelling how the other Penny stole her life, and... 4 or 3. and wanting to essentially get people to acknowledge that, hey, they are supposed to be the real Penny. This person stole her life, so theoretically bad, though my Penny wouldn't know the full context, is just angry in the moment. But either way, would have looked for support from their sort of mother figure at this point, which they would not admit because, no, they have an actual family elsewhere. And they will definitely find it. Does that fit? Yeah, it fits. Right? No? No, wait. What did I do?
No.
Aha! I figured it out. Never mind. Right, back to it. She would have then looked for Izzy to essentially side with her, and Izzy in the moment would be like, hey, I am not just a sort of mother figure to you, I have also been acting somewhat that way to the original Penny. I am not taking sides in this situation. Which then my Penny would be like, okay, you not taking sides is taking a side where you are refusing to put her in the wrong. You are essentially defending her, and I find this indefensible. And that would be when, before we knew about the brambles, what was going to happen is then she would rush back to her place, go to a hidden way stone pad thingy. I forget what they're called off the top of my head.
I believe they're called waystones?
No, not an actual waystone, but like the pad that you would be able to stand on.
Oh, the warp pads.
Yes, warp pad. But she would use a warp pad since it would also have been hidden in the walls, which, as far as she would be aware, the only person who also could phase through stuff would be Stell, who I don't believe would be at the interaction, and if they wouldn't be able to follow her quick enough to know exactly where she had gone. And so that... Did I count that right? I counted that right. That would have led to her going to a place she had set aside for her potential runaway. And in the moment, she would also grab a bag, which I had shown off once or twice in previous streams, where if she was ever like, okay, is there a chance I need to do a runaway now? Is my bag in place for me to do that as soon as I need it? Yes? Good. But it had not quite an exact count of materials needed to build the tent I'm currently making. That being said, also on my piece of paper, I have written the exact counts. I needed 63 white wool. I would have needed 28 light gray wool. I would have needed 48 gray wool, 29 black wool, 29 brown wool, 61 black wool, and 24 fence. That's a lot of doggos. forgot. We're playing in the update where the dogs have all the different variations. Right, back to what I was doing. Yeah. Yes. She would have run away, had a place prepared, would have built this, had a bag with all the materials needed. I rounded it to stacks or half stacks, just for simplicity's sake. Simplicity's sake. And then she would have had the tent built by whenever my next stream would have been. And anything past that, we would have gone through workshopping to figure it out. That... or no. Words fail me sometimes. Do words ever fail you sometimes?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm gonna head out for a bit. Just
Oh, okay. Oh, that's perfectly fine. You do you.
I do want it to be known, when it comes to my episode stream on the server, that I have something in the works. Keep an eye out.
Yeah! Good for you. So yeah, this is essentially the completed version of things. That's a couple other sort of smaller details I want to kind of elaborate on. It was just sort of more behind the scenes bits where, because the main base my penny was in was at spawn, trying to expand further with the house was a little daunting. In part because... Boop. Oh, yeah. Yay! Honestly, there's a chance I would have switched over to sticks from supplementaries. I always want to say supplementaries, but it's supple. Because they have a different name. I didn't add that to this, did I? No. I didn't think so. I've had troubles with supplementaries in the past when I'm just trying to quickly add it to a pack, so... in the moment, I didn't want to deal with that. Okay, that was the limit. See, I did have fun designing this tent. By the way, I ended up trying to look up actual pictures of old sort of medieval-ish style tents. Just because trying to get a bigger tent that isn't just tent that you are camping in, congratulations, was a little harder. So ended up sort of looking up more medieval, bigger tents, and eventually look through, like, Muddler's resource to try and find a tent. Found one, kind of downloaded the model to then open up in my 3D modeling software to then sort of pan around it, get some sketches for make some reference sketches, which I could then try and break down into a Minecraft tent. I don't know. Want to eat some popcorn, which, by the way, to try and do more birthday-y talk, let's talk about the more fun things I did today on my birthday. Just because of previous stuff that was going on, my family is doing birthday celebration tomorrow? AKA in, like, tomorrow is in half an hour. Whoops. But family is Hello, Mr. Spider. Oh, wait. Leather. No, I'll do that in a bit, because technically there's another piece to this whole thing that I wanted to build. But yeah. Sort of had still some excitement for what birthday plans I did create before things went down. And those plans involved, hey, the Sonic movie released on my birthday. I want to go see that. And despite the weather, I had no popcorn. I had there was a theater within walking distance from where I live. That made me go, oh, the other people in my family may not have seen the previous 2 movies. So I will instead, because I also happen to have the day off from work, go at basically the noontime showing all by myself. It was great. There was like a singular other person in the theater. No spoilers. Well, no, like, explicit spoilery stuff, whichever. I just want to say that if someone goes to watch it, heads up that there's both a mid-credits scene and an end-credits scene. The end-credits scene, I'd say it's okay if you miss. It's a nice scene, but it's not a, hi, here's a little bit of setup for the 4th movie, like, mid-credits scene was. Which, honestly, after the first 2 movies, it's like, okay, what are they going to tease for movie 4? Yeah, again, I do not want to go into spoilers, but gosh, it was very good. Sometimes there was like very cheesy dialogue, which I was like, yeah. But otherwise, it was lovely. There was a scene that had just a specific line that made me cry. I'm realizing that in normal scale, this overhang is pretty short, but I was like half this height or thereabouts, so it wouldn't be as bad. Anyway, I got leftover popcorn. In the middle of the movie, ended up where it's like, oh no, I feel like I need to run to the bathroom, but also I don't want to miss any movie. So I will just put all of my effort into focusing on movie and not needing to leave. So though I got what normally would be the amount of popcorn that I usually eat during movie, it ended up being more, because at a certain point I just stopped touching what I got. But hey! Take home snacks. Okay, there. Now that I've taken a bite of popcorn and mentioned other stuff, I want to show off what other detail I was eventually going to add to the whole campsite. Because it's a tent, might as well have a campsite. I was going to make it very sad, where there would be a singular stone slab along with 3 mossy cobblestone slabs to basically be like, see, this is the one where she keeps sitting in it, that's the one she uses, and these other 3 are for, well, who knows? She's not sure. She just wanted something to maybe feel not so alone, but maybe that led to her feeling more alone. Weather. No, not weather. Weather. Rain. Because it will actually snow here. Yay, snow. I can use this as sled. Cherry sled. She would have a cherry sled. She grew attached to that color. Oh, congratulations to whatever Jack's doing. I'm glad he's having fun despite not being in voice chat. Well, I mean, okay, he is in voice chat. I've noticed that he's in, like, different voice chat elsewhere, but I don't know. Boop, ba-doop, 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 ba-doop. I lost my train of thought, guys. Where did my choo-choo go? Snowman. Sorry, snow guy. My bad. Oh, yeah. Potentially it would have been that, hey, before she left, she would have had sheep. Wait. I had clutter. Is this the right clutter? I kind of didn't decide. Again, I was doing rush job stuff. Yes! Oh, it's in clutter blocks. Got it. Anyway, she would have had a place for sheep. She would have had a place for... again, we kind of... When she first got Shark, it was sort of like, oh, I guess they're from different mods, because these guys make noises. Bah! Oh, by the way, I never turned back on the MC music. Oh, by the way, one other thing is that with just as a last minute addition, because I didn't know if I would even be able to participate in the maze due to life stuff, and then once I did figure out, then Zoom to make animation for the lore stream, and then was like, oh shoot, here, let me just throw a cloak on. And one of the other mods we had conflicted with how it appeared, because it was a 3D model bit thing, cube, yes. By the way, no, really? I decided to glance over at my recording software. I haven't dropped a single frame. I mean, at this point, now that I've said it, it's going to drop frames at some point. Yeah. Anyway, we noticed that the mods were... and then in the last one, I don't think that there's a plush that best reflects. So... Oh! Bye, Jack! We have frog light. Perfect. There. We have sheep, and shark, and firefly. I will say when I initially, because when I was it was around the time that I had applied to Wishcraft. It was not guaranteed that I was going to be in, but there was enough excitement surrounding it that, and I had vague plans about what I was going to do for my penny. And I was assuming that from the start, she was going to build her tent. And find a place to go. Shovel, please. Who cares? Wooden shovel. I'm sure there probably would have been a better block, but right now I didn't decide to go through literally all the mods to be like, this and that, and because the Wishcraft mod pack was rather intensive, I'll say, to the point where you kind of could not do Wishcraft in a single player to plan stuff out. At least not within the same mod pack. You'd have to sort of create your own mod pack. Anyway, Snow Guy. I love him. Look at his little face. He's just so precious. To Snow Guy.
They are holding hands. The buff ones. Guys, look, they're buff ones. I love them. They're so, yeah. Buff ones. Whee!
Right. Is it dark? It's dark. Do I just want to spawn... Oh, right, that's one of the other things, is... Honestly, I'm just going back and forth because right now I have no one to bounce off of and to potentially keep me in check. I'm just going on rambles. Let's see. I am considering it. There are other bits with my Penny's backstory that I partially want to elaborate on, like stuff that I hinted within lore streams, either animations or bits of dialogue. But I'm hoping to try doing something else where I can sort of revive the character and essentially do a sort of take two so that it doesn't feel like the stuff that I did for her and created for her is kind of being erased.
You know, why did I destroy the original Snow Guy? You're definitely still the original Snow Guy. We're not going to go into the Theseus ship property, whatever thing. We're not. Shh. You're the Snow Guy. How snowy's the roof? Pretty snowy, but not snowy enough. Tiny glares.
Where was I? I can really tell that it's been over 12 hours since I last took add hit. Oh, that's what button. I'm being silly with it. Medication. My brain's a little floppy all over the place. Flopping all over the place. Yeah. And I've been up since 7 a.m. my time, and it's getting close to midnight. Woo! Right, so hoping to redo
My Penny's story, with, of course, some rewrites. There's no way I can mimic it completely due to how other character interactions occurred. Stuff like that. There was other stuff on it. Right. Oh, Jack's back. Back to the past. I don't know. I vaguely... I didn't really watch that show. It's something I should have gotten into, and then I didn't. Okay. Sled time. Okay. Right. The thing I wanted to then sort of mention? Talk about? I don't know what the right word in this scenario is. Sorry. You could be affecting things. My bad. Yawn. Maybe lanterns, but whatever. Distractions. Stop doing it. How in the frick did I manage to get to you? That's an archived server. I've been so right. Okay. What's the thing? You know what? Birthday. Hap Borf is Birfday stream. I went to see Sonic 3, as I mentioned. Good. Made me cry. Is that... Okay, no, that's just... I can think of the specific scene, but again, I am not going to elaborate on the specific scene because spoilery, guys. That Team Color, or no, not Team Color Fish. Good. I then basically got home, had half an hour to then regather stuff, and then I needed to leave to go to staff Christmas party of workplace. No, I did that. That was kind of nice. A couple of my coworkers wished me happy birthday. But of course, it's mainly Christmas party and end of year party. Because of my specific role at my job, I personally had the day off. Others did not. So I was glad that things did work out where I was still able to go to movie and then go to the party. Which actually, if I didn't have the day off, I would not have been able to go to the party because it would have been taking place as I was at work. Because I kind of work a different shift than other people. Think of it as I'm a night shift, or whichever, compared to other people. Right, I also... I heard a little fox. Where's the little fox? Little fox! A little bitty fox. Little bitty fox. See, I have Bowie. I like Bowie. Yes, you got Bowie. Sorry, I like foxes. Then, yeah, because of stuff not related to incidents that reared their head today, family was already planning to do official birthday festivities tomorrow. So, birthday dinner, birthday presents. Oh, you're up there now. Actually, lead. Come with me, baby. Come with me, baby. There we go. Once I find another wintry fox, which I wouldn't be surprised if that one's one, but that could also be a chicken that we noticed before. I'm gonna go see. We're gonna do dinner, birthday presents. Instead of a birthday cake, it's going to be birthday pie. I just tend to not between potential dessert dessert options for. That's a wolf. Hello, wolf. I just find myself preferring pies over cakes. Normally, it's just, I'm like, no, too much frosting. The cake inside's okay. But I like a good pumpkin pie, maybe like a cookies and cream pie, or chocolate pudding pie, apple pie. Honestly, the one pie I wish that I could just easily say, yes, this is going to be birthday dessert, but unfortunately, the main place we managed to get the specific pie closed. And oh, right, I'm in creative, so the egg will never die. Speaking of, no. Baby. Oh. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Again, I'm getting distracted, my bad. But basically there was a place that did, I believe they called it a candy cane pie, where it was sort of a peppermint pie with little red and green colored, probably white chocolate chips, maybe they were minty. And it was really nice, and I do like minty stuff. To the point where, oh, dang, no, okay, they are right here. Minty chapstick. Let me actually use it because we're, of course, in the time of year where I love to always get chapped. And oh, winter. I was born in you, but that feels weird to say. And technically, it's not till tomorrow that the solstice, which means it's officially winter. So technically, I was born on the last day of fall or whatever. I don't know, man. Don't burn yourself, sweetie. That'd not be good. Is someone frightening you? Who's frightening you? No one's frightening you. You want the chicken. Come on, chicken. Congratulations, you're so good at this. Like, either way, for all intents and purposes, born in winter, and yet I suffer in winter. Have eczema that tends to rear its head more during winter. Chapped lips. Tend to get bored. I guess slight trigger warning for more. Shoot, I don't know how to do this. Trigger warning for blood. I get bloody noses more often. I'm sorry. I'm sure that there was a better way. I just, off the top of my head, I can't think to go, trigger warning, blood. Yeah, blood. Specifically bloody nose, but... oh, I'm in shambles today. I'm just going to break some more of these guys. Yeah. I don't know what exactly we'll do for dinner tomorrow. I think it's gonna be something where I say, can we go out to a special place to eat? Because that's always nice, where it's like, oh, don't always, like, go out of our... Oh... Don't always go out of our way to certain places, so being able to say, okay, but, like, today we can go to a specific place. Sometimes it's a fancy place that could be with reservations. Personally, my tastes lean towards stuff that isn't really that. I mean, I think there was, like, 2 birthdays in a row where I said, I want to go to this burger joint, or fast food burger joint downtown. There, that's my birthday dinner request. It might have just been 1 year, but I think it was 2 years. No, I'm pretty sure it was just the 1 year. But just in thinking of it, it reminded me of the 1 year where I was able to go to a restaurant that I enjoyed. It was one that was a bit out of, like, regular price range and travel range, so it was definitely this is a special occasion place, but not one that you typically need reservations for. But unfortunately, I learned that within the past year, I believe, time sometimes escapes me, that it closed down. Well, there... Right. Kiwi, seahorse, manta, jellyfish, emperor, warped, butterfly, chameleon. Chameleon. Mossbloom, kiwi, emperor, capybara. Crimson newt. Honestly, I think I remember seeing the crimson newt sometimes. Okay, that was not what I was thinking of. Was there just lizard? Liz, oh. Maybe it's in the other server, I don't know. I can try doing a deep dive on my own time in the future about... I do love the animations of this guy. But try to do a deep dive into the various mods to try and figure out what was from where. Which will just be a little tougher since I can't easily... Ooh, what is that? Vulnerability. Interesting. Sorry for punching you. I think I was trying for the snow, but then wasn't paying attention. Sorry. Hot. Hot, hot. Oh, we got hot, hot. Yeah, we got hot, hot, hot. Hot chocolate. Here we only have the... I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so good at life. Okay, I don't know. Right, anyway, I was talking about a place I really liked within the past year, maybe more, because the time constantly escapes me. Heard it closed down, which was sad. It was a really nice place. Okay, maybe not, like, oh, a really nice place, but I really liked it. A concept, I guess, maybe not the best word, but at the very least, it was something more unique than most restaurants with, in terms of a certain concept regarding food serving, whatever. I don't know how to best explain it, and part of me is like, hey, maybe I don't fully explain to not make people go, oh, you mean this exact thing, so now I'm able to figure out that you meant this restaurant, and as you said it closed down within X amount of time, I can narrow down that it was in this area, and... I love brain catastrophizing sometimes, except now that's sarcasm. Peaches. He likes it. Peaches the fox.
Maybe. Oh, that's what I should do. I know you're not Shark and Firefly.
You're so shaped. I love you.
Maybe you're not Sheep, Shark, and Firefly. Well, I mean, you're technically sheep, but you know what I mean. By the way, I actually managed to find, before everything went down, a snowy fox plush, which... Fox.
It's a baby. It's so itty bitty. This is your wit. No, this is your way of water. Yes, you love him.
Yeah. Place closed down. It was a nice place. Wish I could have... Wish it were still around so I could say, do that for birthday. Honestly, I still haven't quite decided which place I would like to go. And I should really try and do that. Other potential ideas that I was having, which could end up leading to, oh, if we're in that area, these are dinner options, but because it's the Christmas season, want to try and have a thing where it's like, oh, can we go to this one area that's known for having a nice Christmas light display, and we go out there to see it. And likely... Okay, maybe not entirely likely. I don't know how it might go, but just... I remember also thinking of it at the Christmas party, but either way, it's like, hey, could we do that? Could we drive over there, check it out? And that can be sort of a birthday request or something.
Blink, blink.
Hello! Rat, would you like to introduce yourself to my chat?
Sure.
I mean,
hi, I'm Sunny. You can I say where they can find me?
Sure, of course. Go ahead,
Okay.
chill out.
I wasn't. Okay. You can find me over on twitch.tv/Sunny's Garden.
And I tend to refer to you as Rat.
Yes. That is also okay for people in my chat to call me, so. Sunny
Just
or
wanted to
Rat,
make sure.
you guys. Yeah.
I mean, I tend to refer to people more by their Discord usernames that I'm most familiar with, which sometimes I feel a little bad. I really want to talk to Story Marvin about stuff where it's like, I always call you Story, but then everyone else says Marvin, so I just want to check with that. Nah.
Yeah, fine.
Which
I don't know.
They haven't. He hasn't said directly, like, at any time where he's like, hey, could you just call me? Could you call me specifically this instead of what I have been saying?
Yeah.
So theoretically, he hasn't said anything, but at the same time, it's like, maybe sometimes good to kind of check if I'm, since I am, like, knowingly concerned about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, I'm a bit concerned, so let me check with the people it's about.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyway, by the way, I was going to ask if you wanted to potentially join the little Essential World Minecraft server I made. Or if you just happen to glance at Muted Stream, you can see the little build I've made, which was going to be Penny 2's base, eventually. Though I've added some extra decor that was not going to be part of
It is very
everything.
fun.
Like
I love
the
the use of
snow
color.
guy and
Uh-huh.
Foxes.
Yeah,
I haven't thought of a name for this one, but this is Peaches, and this is his little brother.
Aw.
And then this was Penny 2's pseudo stuffed animal collection, where she had sheep.
Aw.
Except I didn't download the mods that have shark and firefly, so I put replacements. As well as my...
Oh, I was just gonna say, I'll probably pass on joining just because I am a little bit exhausted, so I'm laying down at the minute.
Yes, that's perfectly fine. Honestly, because of everything that happened with stuff happening at 1 a.m. and me not quite being asleep and then trying to discuss stuff, I was up till 3 a.m. and then was sort of in and out of sleep the whole time. Because I've mentioned it before in other streams, but I don't live alone.
Yeah.
I was sort of awake. I think it was like just as I was finally saying I'm turning in for the night that then someone else in the house was like, oh man, gotta go to the bathroom, and there's a single bathroom in the house, so then walking to get to it. And then I think I was sort of sleeping well enough, and then it was around the time where someone was up for the day, getting ready for work, and I was thankfully awake enough that I caught as they poked their head into my room to whisper me a happy birthday.
Aww.
So I'm vaguely happy that I was sort of in and out of sleep for that. So that being said, as far as my sleep app is aware, I think it's like, you got like 3 hours of sleep, my guy. Maybe not even. Now I'm pulling it up to see what it said.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have slept well recently.
Yeah. Because, well, again, because there is something else, I don't want to fully elaborate, but there's something unrelated to the incident at hand that was already getting a couple of people sort of in... I don't know how to best describe it. It's just something else was going on.
Us anxious.
Yeah, and then sort of as it felt like we were finally getting to a point where maybe things could calm slightly regarding that, then it's like, hey, new thing. And everyone's like, ah! We were already vulnerable and now taken off guard by this. Ah! Sleeping stuff. Yeah. My sleep app says that I slept for 2 hours and about 50 minutes. So I did not manage to hit 3 hours.
Yeah. I think I crashed somewhere around the 5 a.m. mark my time. Because it was, I think it was Sky, Wheels, and I in CC, and they were Wheels was showing off the mixtape, and I was laying here and I was like minorly dozing, and then I was like, yeah, okay, I'm just gonna.
That reminds me, I need to. I happened to look at this dragon plushie that I placed down because I really like a dragon plushie. It's Tag! I mean, not really, but Tag! But that reminds me that someone was like, hi, happy birthday. Your birthday present is, I found you a friend who also likes Evil Azuma.
Nice.
And that makes me go, ooh, evil Zuma talk. Because just one personal headcanon I like for evil Zuma, just one that I don't think has much lore-wise, if we want to call it that, evidence within Hermitcraft. But just the vibes feel right to me. I had canon Evil Zuma as an Ender Dragon or Ender Dragon hybrid.
Fair.
Because it's like, oh yes, everyone's like, here we have Azuma who is Voidwalker, whatever. And I feel like, okay, now you have Evil Azuma. What's Evil Voidwalker? Wagon. And Ender Dragons are very powerful. They're one of 2 boss mobs in the game. The only other boss mob you have to, like, summon yourself. Meanwhile, the dragon actually exists.
I guess technically the Warden isn't a boss mob.
Yeah, the Warden as well as the Elder Guardian. Actually, I think in Bedrock the Elder Guardian has a boss bar.
I think
I
so,
seem
or at least
to
it did
remember
at one
that.
point.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but...
Yeah. I think I mainly recall that because remember when I tormented you guys with those screenshots where it's like, what's wrong in this Minecraft image? I believe the one specifically with the cave spider error in the background was an Elder Guardian, and when the people were interacting, they were like, wait, hey, I've done Bedrock stuff. Person who did more Bedrock stuff is like, should the Elder Guardian's bar be on screen? And it's like, hey, fun fact, they don't even have a bar in Java.
Yeah.
Which actually, I'm trying to remember. Right, okay, there was one place where I ended up sort of referencing where it's like, sort of my own personal lore notes with bits and pieces of stuff. I had a thing where it was Evil Xuma explaining to a different character where it's like, yes, boss mobs. You have the Ender Dragon. You have the Wither. You have... Well, raids are complicated. They have a boss bar, but they're not a single entity, and I had fun with that a little bit. Because that's like the one other place you get a bar showing up.
Yeah.
I mean, now we have, like, here, locate, structure, trial chambers.
I actually still have not gone into seeing a trial chamber for myself, so...
Well, I mean, it won't be game mode. I don't want to suffocate, man. Apparently, there's one not too far away in this world. Yeah, that was the original spawn. I wanted to be in a wintry place, so I was just like, okay, take me to wintry place. But anyway, the trial chamber is below us. Oh, wow. Yeah, pretty. Whoosh. Oh my gosh. Minecraft Trials Edition. 1, 3, 2.
Ooh.
Everything feels so tall. Or, sorry, everything feels so short, I feel so tall. Because Penny was short, and the one other server I've been playing on a bunch that also has, like, varying heights, I'm the teeniest little guy. Like, how teeny am I? I can fit in the quarter block gap that a stair creates.
Yes.
I'm itty bitty. But also I'm sad because one of the powers connected with that origin is kind of broken due to another
Yeah.
mod that got introduced, and like I'm suffering. If anybody ever right clicks me, I'll crash.
There's another issue is we also can't fix that by switching it out with Carry On, because that also breaks it, I'm pretty sure.
Well, no, the big reason that it is breaking is because it's specifically dealing with the fact that when you right-click someone, you are going on their head.
Mm-hmm. And
mine also specifically
your origin.
Yes, my origin is going on heads, and so my best guess for why when people right-click on me and I crash, because like it makes sense when I right-click on someone and crash. Now you've got two different codes where it's like you right-click on someone, you will ride on their head. Here's what happened, and there's enough conflicting code.
Yeah.
Because from what I've noticed from tests where I didn't have the mods entirely, I basically was sort of trying to test the mods independently. It seems that oh, I didn't realize that this thing glows when you approach it. The more you know. Trip testing. Thoughts. I'm sorry, everything just escaped my mind. What have I've been talking about before?
You were talking about the contradictions between like your origin and the riot.
Right, yes, mod. The mod issues. From what I could tell through testing and also my recollection of how things were working prior to everything, is that from what I can tell, the player ladder mod, if you right-click someone to sit on their head, if the person you are sitting on their head of decides to shift, that will automatically kick you off of their head.
Mm-hmm.
The ability that my origin had to ride on people's heads was something that them shifting was not able to kick me off of their head. I got to decide when that happened. I first noticed once we introduced player ladder that originally I was having the issue where I would jump on someone's head and then I would shift to get off, but then and to me, I was still stuck on this person's head. I was still moving around with them. To everyone else, I was stationary on the floor. And then there was also one instance where it was the opposite, where I was... Or no. It was still... I looked stationary on the floor when I thought I was running. So either way. But then, as you know, for whatever reason, that pack just decides that sometimes it's like, hey, literally nothing has changed, but you tried opening up this pack and joining the world, invalid player data or Java exception or something like that. And we've had to mess with the pack here and there a few times. And in messing around, it's gotten... I guess we managed, or at least I managed to do something where now my game is going... Oh, we would be having that error where stuff's conflicting or whatever. Actually, it's just gonna freeze up and crash. Where I'm like, no!
Yeah, because when I was your origin, during the last iteration, I had the same problem the first time. Not with the whole crash, but...
Oh, with Carry On?
Yeah, not with Carry On, because we had player ladder.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
We did briefly, mess around with the swirling on, Wishcraft. and we had to carry on, and it was still having kind of the same issues. But
To be fair, in what testing I could do between player ladder and my origin, it was hard to try and get someone I could play with to test with, so that limited some options.
Yeah.
Because part of it is that, do I have a sibling who has Minecraft and could play Minecraft with me? Yes. Is it a chore to try and get them to do modded? Because then they're like, okay, so now I need to download this pack, and I'm like, yes, I swear it's just a few clicks, but they seem to manage to make it more sometimes, which is valid.
Yeah.
I am very into Minecraft, and to me, it's intuitive. To them, it is not as intuitive.
Yeah.
Skeletons. There's a skeletons.
By the way, I'm still at 0 drop frames. Let's go, baby!
Let's go.
I've never had this happen before. I was so concerned for like half a moment there that this entire time while I had been streaming, I actually hadn't been streaming, but then it's like, wait, no, people had been typing in chat, reacting to stuff going on. I was streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, the thoughts that appear sometimes.
Hello?
Right. Words. From what I could tell, it didn't seem like... Or no, I guess, depending on how things would get configured, because potentially the right-click function to pick someone up would be the same as the right-click function of spoiling. But I think theoretically, if I can separate the two, maybe somehow.
Yeah, if you just like re-keybind carry on.
Because then the code is less of the writing head and trying to figure that out. It's being carried stuff. I don't know. I unfortunately don't know mods enough to fully be able to determine the who, what, where, why, when. I'm sorry, I was going to make a comment and then said, no, I can't make that comment. No, I've seen the movie, but other people haven't.
Oh, spoilers?
Yeah, sort of spoilers. It's like a joke line from the movie, but also I feel like, look, I don't want to spoil anything in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a cool movie. People should go watch it. Buy the plug. No, I'm sorry. That's a completely different reference. Just the way I was speaking such a tone just made me think of Mr. Jello Apocalypse and his series Epithet Erased, which he ended up publishing a book to continue the series, the book being Epithet Erased, Prison of Plastic. Buy his book! How do... This way is an exit? Maybe? No, there's no items here. Ooh, weakness potions. Yeah, it was just the way I said it reminded me of all the times where they're like, buy his book! Buy my book! From there... I'm not sure.
My brain is failing me.
For real.
For real friends.
Gotta love how brain goes sometimes.
For real.
I had plans to like discuss like a completely different incident from way back in the day for me, just because I was like, hey, I was vaguely certain stuff made me it ended up reminding me of a piece of it, which then reminded me of other things, because that's how my train of thought be sometimes. And I was like, well, maybe I could do it. Just if I'm lost for conversation topics, I can just info dump about that. But to be honest, in this moment, I don't have the brain power to.
Entirely fair.
Secrets? Secrets. Arrows and a wing charge and some emeralds.
Nice.
I wonder if they ever give me an axe
and wax. Wax axe.
Oh, right, it's honeycomb. Yay!
Well, I'm yawning and tiring, and it's no longer my birthday where I am.
Boo.
But for people in other time zones, it still is. And also, my family is celebrating my birthday today. So, it's birthday part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Sorry that Electric Boogaloo is a somewhat overused sequel joke, but
it's fine, it's funny.
It rhymes. It feels good to Electric Boogaloos. Feels good on the mouth vibrations. Good vibrations.
Mr. Zambo.
Oh, whoa, is there an amethyst geode right there? Oh, cool, there is. That's fun. Anyone who's curious, there's the seed. I'm in 1.21.1. Congrats.
This is a funky little guy.
Cactus. Log on top so then they can put tree. Anyway, I remember one thing with the trial chambers, which I don't know if it ended up getting fixed. I just off the top of my head, I don't recall. But I remember there was like one chest in the trial chamber rooms that it seems like Mojang was testing the loot generation of the trial chambers, which good, that's a good thing to do. Oh, trial chamber noises. Or spawner noises. They were testing the spawning, or the loot generation, and then after they tested the loot generation for one of the rooms, they didn't remember to reset it before saving the way the room spawns. So even though the code was there for that specific loot table because they had the chest generated before saving the building piece instance. When they did end up, when stuff ended up generating, it was always the exact same loot in that one singular chest.
I don't know, I thought that was just a fun tidbit that I thought you might find interesting. Was I correct? Or did my roundabout explanations put thee to sleep?
No, I'm awake. Mostly.
Okay. Mostly.
I think I might have dozed off a little bit, but it's fine.
That's fair.
Yeah. I've been up about 12 hours already, so.
Yeah. And I'm realizing that I kind of have done what I sort of planned for the stream. I really wanted to do something for my birthday, and then with everything that happened, I wanted to have a sort of send-off stream on my terms on how sort of ending. It's like, yep, I'm no longer in witchcraft. Sad, unfortunate truth.
Mm. Yeah.
And also, I forget. I mean, right? Yeah, I'm 90% sure she said, but if she didn't say, I guess spoiler to other witchcraft people that Elwyn says she's out.
Oh, she said already.
Yeah,
no,
I was pretty sure, but
there's like that itty bitty part of me that was like, well, what if?
Yeah, no. People were like, well, what do we do now? This sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry. That was mean.
Yeah. Kinda. But people aren't happy with how it was handled, and the best thing to do in that scenario, if you're worried about how important stuff like that is handled,
you go.
Yeah. Yep.
I love how right now I'm just going through the trial chamber. I'm not always looking for chests right now. I'm just going, ooh, is that a lamp that isn't fully lit? Let me go fully light it and then lock it in place.
It was very fun.
Are there more lights down here? No?
Yeah, no, sorry. Your voice is very comforting and very soothing. Yeah. You be sleepy.
Yeah. My favorite thing is, yes, it's sort of, I use my
little tiny ear voice for my penny, because I can do that.
I have acting experience to some degree where I'm somewhat good at voices. Definitely nowhere near as good as probably some other people. But also, words. I got distracted for a second because then I realized, hey, that someone mentioned earlier with April potentially being a little quiet, and then suddenly I was like, oh, you're probably a little quiet to stream chat. Even though it doesn't seem like anyone's currently actively there. Hey! Okay. No, sorry, you made a noise and it just perfectly sounded like a noise from April, so I was like, speak of the devil and she shall appear?
Plot twist, she's actually been here the whole time.
And
that would have been a really funny time for her to appear.
Yeah, and also I just love that Yes, I said the whole quote where instead of just the speak, and then that just led me to then go, the devil from. Come on, you can do it. Yeah, I thought you would do it.
Wait,
I said the bit where it's like, oh, speak of the devil and she shall appear, which then made me think of the devil from
the Bible.
There we go.
Whoa, there she is in the chat. Hi, Wheels.
The devil from the Bible.
She appeared, speak of the devil, and she shall appear.
But I thought the devil was played by someone else.
But yeah, me. Boo.
Gasp.
But yeah, I will say that's one thing I was kind of disappointed in doing. I wasn't able to do as much. Is definitely some other smaller plans for stuff I would do with my Penny character would be that at times she puts on a farce where she is just the sweet little child. Because you want to care for the sweet little child, do you? But once it would potentially get to the point where it's like, oh, you're essentially not falling for the innocent little child act, then it would kind of go into more of a kind of, I don't want to say realistic version of her, that because sort of all of her is a type of act.
Yeah.
Because sort of her whole thing is that she does not know her true self. And so she does not want to sort of make any part of her fully concrete because she's still yearning for what she believes is supposed to be her. Honestly, in the part of it could end up depending on other things I might do or wanted to do or this, that, the other. But that channel glitch. But but definitely there would be the chance of her kind of finally getting what she wished and then learning that it wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's a common trope in cases like this. It's like hurting other people to get what you want, and then finding out that, oh, was it actually what you wanted? Especially since, in certain cases, it would... Like, the other thing was sort of the fact that here you have a character who is definitely being a sort of found family mom for her. But she's so dead set on getting what she believes is rightfully hers. It's like she wants to get her family, that she's not thinking about how she kind of already had it right there.
Yeah.
And if anything, in trying to get what she thought she deserved, she sabotaged previous stuff.
Yeah.
Do. I know there was something. Huh?
Oh, I don't remember what I was saying.
Okay. Just it was another instance of a single syllable word from you that somehow managed to be processed in my brain as, oh, is that April? Is April back?
Lamo.
Similar to the other conversation where it's like someone calls a name and we were like, oh, is that a person calling for us going, guys? And then it's like, oh no, it was someone else calling for them. And it's like, hey, I think it was like asking if they wanted a burrito or something.
Yeah, that's what was happening.
Yo, I made food. You want some?
I made pasta earlier,
Mm.
and it was like a whole thing of pasta just for me.
Mm. Honestly, I really need to, at some point, just go back and be like, you know what? For lunch today, I just want to make myself some butter noodles.
Real. I made a thing of pasta rum.
Nice. I did not do this passageway, which I can tell because this is dark. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what made me end up thinking of that whole bit, which I don't know. It's been so long since last I've seen my son. Something man behind the slaughter.
Slaughter.
I'm still.
That's to this monster, to the man behind the slaughter.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember where I posted that one meme. That was just someone was trying to. Oh, now I remember what it is. I think someone was like trying to explain. It was a small story about someone trying to explain their sexuality, queer identity. I'm not sure the best term for it, but it's like trying to explain to their coworker because it wasn't one of the ones where it's like, I'm gay. That's the easy. Lesbian, yeah. Even trans potentially would be easy. And then it's like trying to explain, and then finally the guy's like, oh, it's like you've never played any of the FNAF games, but you've gone really in depth in learning the lore.
Real, literally me.
And then the person went, yeah, I guess that's a good comparison. Whatever
Literally
works, I guess.
me for.
If it helps you personally figure out, then good on ya.
Those 4 colored beds are giving me Zelda core so hard.
There is secret. Aha!
Secret?
I noticed on the map that there was a dark room and it was hidden behind this one bed.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I have to.
You're good.
There, now it's 4 swords.
I'm glad you understood which game I meant. Because it's literally like, I own the manga.
Gosh, I really need to go. I only recently learned about the Four Swords manga, and that made me go, wait, now I really want to read.
Hold on, let me grab it real quick, because it should be like right next to me.
Oh my gosh, there was a purple bed in here.
Oh my god, that's literally everything.
It's a sign. The magenta bed was actually Zelda.
I was gonna say the purple bed is Shadow, and the magenta bed was was Violet, but okay, fair enough, close enough.
I don't know.
Hold on, you'll never guess. Actually, on the pile of my Zelda mangas, you'll never guess which one's right on top.
Here, I'm going to put a black bed for Shadow.
Yeah.
Yay! What's on top?
Four Swords. It's the Four Swords manga.
Yes. Duh. By the way, the one media that has a manga that isn't as well known, mostly, I think. It could just be that I personally am familiar enough with the manga that I'm like, the XKCD comic, where it's like, oh, I know that we need to remember that not everyone is as much as an expert as we are. Though everyone knows thing. Oh, yes, of course. That's second nature to everyone. Blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And for me specifically, it's the Pokemon Adventures manga.
Mm-hmm. Violet and Shadow are literally everything to me. Sorry, I'm insane about Four Swords. And Frank, like, I opened the cover of my Four Swords manga, and on the very front page, like, the illustrated artwork, it has green, blue, and red at, like, the bottom half. Mm-hmm. And then up in the top half, it's got Violet with his arm wrapped around Shadow's waist, and, like, they're sitting on a throne together.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but that... my brain quickly went on... my train of thought went on a tiny little roller coaster. Which then brought me back to the Sonic movie. And as expected...
As
expected, Robotnik and his...
Oh my god. His stupid little, like, cafe owner sidekick guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was more gay.
Oh. No spoilers. Oh.
I mean, of course, unfortunately, they didn't go, like, yes, explicit, they gay, they go... But, like... They have a time where it's like...
Yeah.
Gosh, if they could just be a touch more explicit about the whole... Yeah, gay for each other.
Uh-huh.
But no, they have to do this like, you are my greatest. It's like, I care for you so much, my friend.
Real.
I'm just like, boo! Say
one, close friends. Roommates, anything but lovers. History hates lovers. I also have the Minish Cap manga. And the Ocarina of Time manga. I think the Ocarina of Time, Minish Cap, and Four Swords are the only ones I have the full manga collection for. But I think I do have a chapter of Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess. I don't think I have those ones right next to me, though.
That reminds me, there's one fan comic that I once found that was Legend of Zelda related, I think most specifically connected to Ocarina of Time, but like it definitely incorporated stuff from other games. Like I think they had Midna show up at one point, but essentially
Sorry, I'm being autistic, continue.
Yeah, fair enough. But specifically the whole premise is, hey, what if Link, who, yes, is still going to eventually become the hero of the story and defeat Ganondorf because evilness. What if he was raised by Ganondorf?
Ooh. I
If-
feel like
if I
I
re-
may know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, the title is Growing Up Gerudo.
That sounds familiar. But also technically Midna is canon to Ocarina of Time because Twilight Princess canonically takes place after.
Right. Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
within the Ocarina of Time canon, she had not yet been created. Therefore, a bulb I missed.
Yeah.
Oh, I put my honey away.
Technically,
Yeah.
technically, God, what was I saying? Oh, technically, Link from Ocarina of Time is also canon to, like, another game. But that one's also technically not canon to the timeline. Sorry,
Yeah. No, you're completely valid. You're
I
completely
love
valid.
Legend of Zelda.
I
I
know
could go on
that
about Zelda for hours.
I know that there was at one point a time where I just binged a bunch of like Legend of Zelda theory and lore videos when we were sort of in the period where Tears of the Kingdom had been announced, but I don't think we had even been given the title yet. So I was like, man, I want to see some content about, because I think it was like one of the trailers before name still came before name. Sorry,
You're good.
I'm buffering.
You're good.
Game trailer appeared. Name not yet announced. I watched the trailer, and then also my favorite thing to do after watching trailers is to see how other people react. In part because sometimes it's stuff like Legend of Zelda where I am aware of Legend of Zelda, but as other people are more thoroughly entwined with the lore and mythos and everything of the games, so sometimes it's nice to see what people who are essentially more into it feel about what ends up being shown.
Yeah. Legend of Zelda is like everything to me. Like, Zelda is to me what, like, Empires is to Sky, you know? Zelda's like my special little baby girl.
I'm trying to think of what specifically that might be for me, because I bounce all over the place way too much.
Yeah. I also usually bounce pretty all over the place.
Honestly, I think right now my big thing would probably be epithet erased. Oh, that's something else I kind of want to mention, is I was having a lot of just... When I ended up starting to make a Penny to Nameless Child playlist. Which at some point I was considering sharing, but I'm not 100% sure now. Like, again, it'll all depend on how it ends up going with us potentially trying to redo our characters in other location-y place things.
Yeah, because I know there's been some vague discussions.
Yeah. But nothing's concrete, and stuff is still pretty fresh, so...
Yeah.
That's interesting. What is these buttons?
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm also usually pretty like all over the place and like bouncing around.
Bounce.
For real. Zelda's kind of like the one thing that's like done it for me my entire life, you know?
Yeah, let's see. What have I got? Episode Race is something. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic was a hyperfixation for me for a long time. That's quite literally where my username comes from.
That checks out, yeah.
It just because I love sharing the origin of my username. I went to my very first My Little Pony convention in 2012. It ended up being that they had already sold out of tickets, so basically we went, told, nope, sorry, we can't have any more people, and then we kind of left. But we did get to interact with a couple of fans. I made, it was the shittiest little cosplay. But I made my own little cosplay where I was Queen Chrysalis.
Ooh.
I basically found a couple of trash bags. Or I think it was just one trash bag that happened to be like the perfect color for her wings. And so I cut it in half so that each handle of the bag could then go around my arms, sit on my shoulders. And then it was there. And I scrounged up other clothing to match up. And then my sibling decided to match me by doing their own kind of shitty cosplay of Cadence. Where it's like, here we have this old pink wig and I'll wrap a white bed sheet around myself for a wedding dress, and we'll get other dress-up clothes that we happen to have lying about and scrounge up some gold stuff. But we ended up finding a different party who was outside, happened to be taking pictures, and they were dressed up in very well done cosplay of the royal wedding. And we kind of went over to them and asked if potentially we could get a picture with them, and it was very nice. They said yes, and even though like it was very clear that it's like, here's this cool cosplay and here are these younger folks who don't know what they're doing yet. Emphasis on I've done pretty good cosplays more recently, because I literally took a class at an art college about sewing and whatnot. Stairs longing. That's the one other art piece I never mentioned. I still unfortunately never finished my Penny cosplay, because I really wanted to have it done around Halloween, because it also would have been like a lovely thing for me to be able to wear to work, where it would be in this situation where it isn't so out there that's like, yes, costume. It'd be simple enough. But I did have to, like, okay, search for something, a dress that seems to have the right fabric. And I was really frustrated because I found a dress that basically looked perfect. All I would need to do is, I think it was a dress that came with a little jacket, And so the sleeves were short or non-existent, but I could have transplanted these sleeves from the jacket onto the dress itself, and then also make edits to the skirt itself, and then further edits to the sleeve. But it was too small for me. And there was not enough fabric from the jacket for me to try and extend it. I was like, no, it's the perfect color and everything. And my dad, I happened to go with my dad because he was also like, oh, you need to head to the thrift store. I love going to the thrift store because he happens to run a club that is like a bunch of people getting together and just doing a bunch of games, and he loves going to thrift stores and checking out what they have in their games section, because sometimes, hey, a game for cheap that happens to have all its parts, but other times it's, hey, this doesn't have all its parts, but we can harvest what's there to make our own.
Real. Yeah, because I also got my Halloween costume very last minute.
Yeah, but specifically for me, I was unable to finish mine because I think it was a day or two before Halloween. I ended up tripping, and I tripped on what was basically a small ledge. Like, part of it was, hey, there was some uneven ground. I managed to catch myself on the uneven ground. But that led to me tripping, falling, scraping both my knees. And because there was like a slight height difference in where I started and where I was falling, it ended up worse than a normal fall probably would be. And while my knees were one thing, I also, like, hey, I'm falling, I'm trying to protect my face, there go my hands. And my hands were kind of torn up to the part where I was just kind of holding them in place. I was like, I do not want to bend them in any way, shape, or form. And I'm just there like, no! There's no way I can use my sewing machine like this. And I was already having a little trouble trying, because we ended up going to a secondary thrift store, and there we found a dress that also had the right color and other bits that fit well. The big thing was the style of dress was not, it did not match Penny's dress style. However, the style that it did have left it with enough extra fabric that I could then edit, except it would just need a lot of stitching done to the back, which was a hassle because I can't see the back when I'm wearing it. And trying to judge how I needed to go, because I unfortunately don't have a mannequin. The closest I could get was calling my sibling over to be like, here, can you wear this so I can get a vague idea? And then they ended up kind of helping out where it's like, okay, now put it on me and try to put pins in place. Like, here's where I want the fabric to potentially lie. Put a pin in basically the same place, but on the two sides of the fabric. So when they're taken apart, I then know exactly where they're supposed to go back together. But yeah. And then the other fun thing was that I basically would just have to do the dress and maybe some eye makeup, because I do happen to have red hair like Penny does.
No way. Yeah, Sky and I went thrift store shopping for cosplay things. And because I was like, well, technically, theoretically, I have components for a Jimmy cosplay. Give me solidarity.
0.4. Sorry, I'm being silly.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, theoretically, I was like, yeah, theoretically, I have things for Jimmy Solidarity cosplay. And then we went in and we found everything perfectly for 2 different variations of a Jimmy cosplay. Limited Life Martin cosplay. And a Double Life Pearl cosplay.
Funky. Oh, and by the way, because I ended up showing... I open up the cosmetics in Essential, and the very first one of the... Okay, some of the first stuff that shows up are an ice staff, which... Scott's Major? Vaguely.
Real.
But more the Sorcerer Cone that immediately showed up. I'm like, that's Wizard Gem Hat, but with extra baubles.
Oh my god, it is, yeah.
Yeah. But more the thing I wanted to show off is I had some extra skins with Penny. My Penny. There's of course her dress outfit that she wore to the masquerade, where I've got some extra added pixels around the face because she was wearing the Armorer's Workshop mask, but also wanted to do the underbiz. Changed her normal belt out for a big ribbon, which theoretically she tied, and added on a little jacket. Okay, I need to get rid of you. I was trying to check stuff I did not want to actually. Then I had Penny Hallow, which was the Halloween stream, where it gave her these fun little translucent bits and bobs on her top. Meanwhile, her lower skirt, I basically just changed the color of, because for the most part, it was not going to be seen because I had the Armorer's Workshop version of the skirt.
Yes.
And then what I was eventually going to do is when it got to the point where Penny was running away and living off the land in her tent, I was going to switch to what's essentially a variation of the Penny skin, but it's like, wow, dirt. Messy dress specifically did more dirt on her hands near where her fingers would be, because doing more stuff there. And then also her knees and feet stuff. But just the stuff that, as she would be working with whatever, would get the most going on. And of course, I deepened the bags under her eyes as well as a little dirt there. That was the one other thing I meant to mention, is with her secondary base, with her first base, it was near spawn. I couldn't expand it much because there was a lot of stuff near spawn and it would encroach into this, that, the other. And knowing that I would eventually need a place to have her second base go, I ended up scouting out an area before eventually being like, okay, here it is, and I've cleared out an area. And also, I spent so long gathering bone meal to surround the area in a thick cover of trees, with the intention being that there is no way for someone to easily, like, just walk through the forest and find her area, because I clustered the trees so thick that you would either need to break through a bunch of the leaves and logs, or have her ability where you can phase into stuff, which I was really hoping at some point it's like, oh no, someone's actually found her in the forest, and then she starts running, and then they're like, ah yes, we'll definitely catch her, and then she manages to lose them just enough that she gets the chance to then... I pressed the phase key that the Origin would normally have, but because the Origin isn't in this version of Minecraft,
I just
Love that.
pressed the button and smacked into the tent.
Okay, the other day I was playing Minecraft. I think I was on Mirthcraft, and I forgot I could drown.
Oh. Yeah.
I was like, wait, why am I taking damage? And then I went, oh, I can drown.
Sorry, I yawned, trying to make that fun little but yeah, ended up with that, and then further decide to make it so there was next to nothing at the surface. I think all that was there was a waystone, a crafting table, a waystone that was the name of the waystone was lore spoilers exclamation point. It was just a whole bunch of exclamation points.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, yeah. Suddenly I was like, wait, is my penny on the correct emotion? Yes, she is. I'm happy talking about this, so she happy. But there was the waystone, there was crafting table and furnace, because of course you all. Why are you sitting on your brother, Peaches? You should not be sitting there. Of course, you need a crafting table and a furnace right next to each other to signal any sort of base. Technically, you should have a chest there too, but sometimes that's a touch more optional.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also a fence post that had a lead attached to it, because at one point, when I was trying to gather up all my wool, I needed to find some cactus for green dye, which it tends to be the most frustrating dye to obtain. Because while sometimes it can be frustrating to try and get a hold of cocoa beans, brown dye is a sort of solitary thing. It doesn't mix with any other colors. Meanwhile, a cactus, the green dye, you need to mix with white to get your lime, and then also mix with your blue to get your cyan. And there is some color mixing involved, so then you really want to get a hold of that. And I ended up... There was a glitch or something in the Zero's map where there was a single chunk or something way off from everything else that had been generated. And the singular chunk happened to be a desert. And I was like, am I really going to go thousands and thousands of blocks out just to hoping that this square actually is a desert and I can get cactus? Because it was a glitch. For all I knew, it was because of something being like, oh, original seed, or oh, we added extra terrain generation mods, which would mess with the seed. And so when I actually got there, it would have no longer been a desert. But I ended up going all the way. It was a desert. I got some cactus, got other stuff along the way. And while I was there, I managed to find one of the mythic mounts, which I forget the official name they gave the mythic mount, but essentially it was like a phoenix style thing. I think it would come in different colors, so like one version would be a phoenix, the other potentially a thunderbird. I unfortunately did not look too deep into it. But either way, it just so happened.
No, let me try that again when I'm not yawning. It just so happened to... It might be because that's like the variety that spawns when in a desert. But the fact that it did spawn while I was in the desert and right near me, this sort of phoenix-looking bird that had the color scheme of a reddish orange and yellow. And I'm like, that's fucking... That's my Penny's colors. And I've also had, like, some... I don't think I ever, like, fully got to do it. The closest was her constantly dressing up in swan outfit and saying she really likes swan, but was planning to have, like, more bird symbolism. In fact, technically I did do some more, it just wasn't as blatantly obvious, but every single one of the names I had essentially set aside for my Penny to use for her excuse names were based upon birds or something similar. So here, let's see what I had. I do not remember off the top of my head what Enna was connected to. Bronwyn, I believe, is connected to crows or ravens. I'm not sure. Maya, that has bird connect. I think it's similar to the Mina bird or something. I'm tired. I had further notes about the bird connections elsewhere. Right now, I'm just looking at the list of names.
Yeah, I think you've explained a couple of them to me before.
Yeah. Well, now I'm doing it for stream.
Well, yeah.
I had a pair, Cassie and Kess. Those both came from, like, Kestrel. Rhea. I can't imagine where the... There's a bird called the Rhea. I will say I kind of wished that I would have gotten the chance to use Rhea as the name she gave to Odysseus. Because the fact that Rhea originates from the Titan who was the mother of the gods, that probably would have then led it to, it's like, wait, that's your name? Whoa, that's crazy, or something like, I don't know. Nice, sir. You are stepping on my dragon. Where was I? Right, the names. Then from there, Fia. I don't quite recall that. Piper. That was from, like, a sandpiper. Teal. There's a type of bird that's called a teal. Lynette, Eileen, and Anara. Those I don't recall. Sora, though, specifically connects to, like, soaring, but also, that one's also a Digimon reference.
Of course it is.
Because one of the main characters who specifically had wind motif and a partner who was bird.
Real.
Yeah, her name was Sora. Being a touch blatant with it, which, I mean, also, they quite literally gave the character who was represented with the Crest of Light the last name that quite literally meant light, and to the point where, hey, if you translate this to English, yeah, it's just light.
Mm-hmm.
It's August 1st, except it's not. I'm all over. But anyway, another thing that was sort of bird motifs is I started realizing that when I was putting together her music playlist, I added some songs from Epithet Erased. They specifically both happen to be connected to one of the characters. One of the songs was even titled Lullaby for a Wingless Bird, which was already having bird motifs because clutching to the idea of the story of the ugly duckling and being able to feeling out of place, but then eventually finding the place they belonged, and that's kind of what she really wanted. But then she kind of took the ending a little literal, where it's like, oh, it's not until the swan found the other swans that they were able to find their place. And not, oh, something else was like, but no, you're not you're swan, and actually it's perfectly fine if you vibe with us even though we're not swans. But yeah, also her extreme like of the ugly duckling story is part a good chunk of why she loathes ducks with such a passion.
That makes so much sense, actually, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, this is a traumatized, living on her own, 12, almost 13-year-old. Who's been through shit, is doing stuff on her own, and if she decides one of her coping mechanisms is to hate the very existence of ducks, by all means. But yeah, it also helped that changelings, and sometimes fairies in general, have sort of a bug motif stuff going on. So also the fact that it's like bird versus bug, which sometimes birds just munch on bugs. Like worm, they go get worm. Wormy is, it's not like an insect, but it's grouped in with bugs a lot of the time. Which, by the way, I think I've mentioned it before, but I just want to say it because I am thinking of it again and want to make sure that I've mentioned it somewhere on a stream. When I was designing Penny 2, originally I started with me messing around with the Pick Grew for some vague shit. And then from there, I think first it started with me having seen a post or two on Tumblr about Danny Phantom, which was sort of like, oh, looking into how Danny, except for specifically his eyes going from blue to green and then his skin basically staying the same, the rest of him inverts. Because his hair goes from black to white, and in fact, the suit he was originally wearing when it was mostly white with black accents, but then everything got flipped, so now it's black with white accents. And so people are like, oh, so if other people got ghostified
there would probably be some inversion going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because there also was that with Plasmius, where he has a white hair that would then turn black. And also, he kind of got the skin inversion thing going on. But it's like, okay.
Jazz was a ghost? Do you think it'd be like a Penny situation?
Well, that's just it, is because there was a post where someone was like, oh, so then if Jazz ended up ghost, she's got red hair, so then her inversion would be blue hair. And then that made me go, wow. So if I wanted to give, like, a more realistic standard color to my Penny, because unlike the actual Penny that was originally in Witchcraft, my Penny can't exactly just change her hair color on a whim. So then I was going for something more theoretically natural. I sort of started to land on red hair because of the time frame. There was like some thoughts where people were like, red hair, that obviously is a spawn of Satan or evil, or just evil in general, or whatever. Which, even if it was in a situation where that wasn't the case, we had enough freedom to bend whatever timeline they came from as we saw fit.
Yeah.
But then also, the inversion stuff made me go, oh yeah, another reason for it to be red hair. And then that led me to, originally, my very first designs for what my Penny would be wearing was I originally downloaded the original Penny skin, and then was messing around with that. And originally I was just going to hue shift the dress to, instead of being blue toned, it was going to go into a sort of pink tone. Which I do kind of like, which then, when she went into, like, choosing a wood style that she wanted stuff, she kept going with pink. But anyway, then I kept messing around and then was like, wait, I'm inverting the hair. What if I invert the colors as well? And so then I was like, oh wow, that actually looks really good. The sort of yellowy dress with white accents. It wasn't until after I sort of completed it that I was then being like, yeah, because of the inversion, you've got the original Penny with a black and blue dress, and then you've got the second Penny with a yellow and what? Wait. Holy fuck, I did the dress.
You made the dress.
I went from black and blue to white and gold. I think I still have a meme somewhere.
I'm pretty sure you did, yeah.
Yeah, I sent it at some point. I don't know. But yeah, I don't have the brain power to try and A, find the meme, and B, get it so stream can see it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that whole topic about going back to stuff when I was creating her, the bird associations connected to the one song from Epithet Race, and I realized that some of her mindset meshed well with the mindset that the character the theme of the lullaby of a wingless bird or flightless bird, I'm blanking on it right now, they had some parallels to the point where I was considering taking some of the dialogue from the show and reanimating it, where instead it was my Penny saying it, where it's like, oh yes, I'm going to curse you with what you're most afraid of. And it's like, oh, wait, why did nothing happen? It's like, what I'm afraid of? What I'm afraid of is a life that stays like this, where nothing ever changes and blah, blah, blah. Which, I cut out some stuff. I was planning to cut out some stuff that was, like, more specifically, directly about the character that then didn't fit Penny. But then it's like, I'm afraid of a life where this is all there is, and I'm unable to change it, blah, blah, blah. And finally it's like, also ducks, apparently. And it pans over to show that a duck spawn, and she's like, they're small and fast and they bite, okay, just die or something. And I'm like, this is Penny when she's gonna be an adult, the way her life is currently going. And so that just made me, here and there, try and sort of, like, more actively make connections and references. But then the other thing with bird references is I keep mentioning the phoenix that I found and tamed, but then not going into, because it just felt like it was so perfect. The colors were right, and it happened to spawn, and sort of everything fell into place in the moment. I was like, I gotta eventually do something with this. And so I just, because I couldn't just be like, oh yeah, off stream she adopted a giant bird. I ended up leaving it at the secondary base, or what was going to be the secondary base location, or I guess also was simultaneously, and just kind of left it there. Meanwhile, the reason I say I'm in between is, like, what was going to be the secondary base and what actually was the secondary base is that I left the surface completely normal. Well, not entirely normal. I did terraforming and clearing and blah, blah, blah. But it was that I built essentially an underground base, which I could easily access because I could phase through walls, disappear, and fly much more unique than the other guys. So my hair booger.
For me and you.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm fading.
Real.
I'm sure that with enough time, I could think of so many other things. Which is, again, why I would like to find a way to continue with using her character.
Well, I know Sky has already vaguely mentioned potentially bringing back Penny.
Yeah.
And April's mentioned bringing back Evelyn.
Yeah. Which I know they sort of discussed together, and it would make sense since my Penny and their Penny. But, like, right now, everything's fresh. I still want to, like, I know that there's initial discussions, but those haven't been confirmed as, yes, we're going to do this, as well as also just being in, I guess, the situation where it's like, I would like to continue looking into things, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm going to sort of, I really need to get to bed. It's past 1:30 a.m. here, and I do have a therapy appointment in the morning, which, yes, I had one last week, but we had to change things up, so I'm having one again this week. Yay.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. I definitely know what most of the time will be taken up time. Anyway. I am going to disconnect from this voice call so I can do my outro bits. Talk to you at some point tomorrow, potentially. Bye.
Good night. Sleep well. Bye-bye.
I'll do my best. Bye. Alright. Yes, my screen is over here. Yeah, I'm switching over to stream ending. I am so eepy sleepy. Fix some morning. But yeah, also one other thing is just, man, episode erased. It's heart emojis so big. Buy his book. Just specifically because I want to talk about it, because I also was like, yes, that's my thing to go back. After the race started as a animated series that's animated in the style of like people playing a D&D roleplay or tabletop roleplay, where you've got what's essentially cardboard cutouts of, or little paper puppets of the characters that do have a range of emotions, but are sort of like being puppeted around. And sometimes you get a top-down view, like tokens on a board. I think it's really nice, because despite the limited animation, they do so much with it. Like, they don't do quite as much in the first episode, because they were still finding their footing, but like, quickly in the second episode, you can see that they're doing way more squash and stretch and creativity with the series was... animated series was only... In fact, actually, let me start up that music where it's a touch playing in the background. Maybe. Yeah. Louder than I thought it would end up coming out as. Maybe that's just how it appears to me. I don't know. Anywho, it ended up being 7 episodes, and those 7 episodes were actually split into 2 arcs: Museum Arc and Redwood Run Arc. One was 4 episodes long, one was 3 episodes long. I have to say that one of my favorite things is just all the characters. I'm constantly flip-flopping between who's my favorite character, because they're all done so well. Sometimes it's a guy named Ramsey, sometimes it's a person named Percy, sometimes it's Giovanni Potage, sometimes Smong. It's all over the place. But anyway, the show ended up kind of... It got to the point where the creator was like paying for half of the creation of the show out of pocket, which, and despite like it being sort of limited animation, it still costs a lot of money for production and being able to pay the people who were all helping with artwork and animation and voice acting, everything, etc., etc. And it got to the point where the person in charge said, I never want to go through the hell of trying to get this animated again. So, but fortunately for him, he really lucked out, and when going to the place that he went to potentially make this show, because I think the story he gave was that he was working with them for something, and they said, hey, by the way, do you have any show ideas? And he's like, here's this one that I've thought about a bunch here and there. It's like, okay, well, greenlight it. Wait, just like that? Yes, you're making it now. God, shoot. But in all that, he managed to, unlike other times where it's like, oh, you're going through this company, well, now that they're producing your thing, the IP belongs to them. And unfortunately, if you don't continue with them, well, they own it now. He managed to make it so no, even with all that, the IP was still completely his. So after it didn't look like they would end up producing season 2, and in fact, I believe at this point the place went under or was bought out or something. He was able to continue. It was in the form of books, specifically Prison of Plastic, his book, which also has an audiobook, which has all the cast from the original voicing animation, just reprising their roles, which was very nice. And the music was there too. Honestly, I ended up buying both the book and the audiobook, because there's also nice illustrations in the book, and being able to read along and listen, because there are some jokes that definitely work best in a written format, but then when they're spoken out, it's kind of lost. I don't know, man. I'm so tired. I have things to do in the morning, and I already slept poorly the night before. So, yeah. Thank you all for coming along, and I will see you guys at some point in the future. Probably the next time I stream will be me playing in Stars in Time some more, because I like that game. In fact, I was kind of introduced to it via Jello Apocalypse playing it on his YouTube channel, Jello Plays Games. Honestly, guys, I really just vibe with his sense of humor. It fits. Yeah. Honestly, part of that is probably because Tumblr. I first found him through Tumblr when he made a video about Tumblr. Whatever. Oh, and as you can see, I have Tumblrs. They're on screen. I have nothing left to say. I'll leave you with this music a bit. I'm going to restart just so you can get a good full version of it. And sort of, maybe if YouTube, yeah. So long, guys. I'm going to vibe with it just in case. Oh, and someone wish me happy birthday in chat. I didn't notice that, even though that was like half an hour ago. Exactly, basically. Sorry for the clicking, it's me fidgeting with stuff. And